smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, I wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Oh, we're on Hemp Works, and we're on Time for Hemp, international global radio station. Now, I love live radio because you never know quite what you're going to get. And tonight, we've got a member of the Riddle family on. Yeah, and a few months ago, I met up with the Riddle family due to Little Landon, and he was, anybody that's familiar with the story knows what happened to him. So, and there was a download that you can play back for that. So Sierra came on and told us the first part of the story, and I must admit, if nobody's ever listened to that download, they really should. And then we had the lovely Wendy on, who was the grandmother of Sierra's mum, Landon's grandmother. So we had the grandparents' perspective on what was happening to little Landon. And then we had Sierra back on yet again, just recently. And tonight I was meant to be talking to Sierra, but she's so busy. I've got Wendy, so and so
Yes.
how you doing, Wendy? Right? Look, I can't contain myself. I believe you got some good news for us.
Oh my goodness, we have the best news. About a month ago, of course, Landon was doing so well. His immune system numbers on his blood work were so high, that of a normal child, that, of course, the doctor started scratching their head and going, something's going on here. The chemo should be affecting all of these numbers, should be much lower. For the last 13 months, we have not given Landon the daily chemo that we were supposed to be giving him because we were treating with the cannabis, of course. Yeah. And that was not news that we shared with the doctors because we've been in this battle. Well, of course, they finally put two and two together last month. They ran some specific blood work to check for the chemo in his bloodstream, and, of course, it came up 0. So at that point, they actually, looked at Sierra and said, we've got the report, and there's no chemo in his system, and we know that you're not giving him the daily chemo. And Sierra said, you are correct, and I have not given it to him for a year. I'm his mom. I made the best decision for his health and his well-being. I've chosen to treat with cannabis, and that's what we've done. Well, they pretty much made notes in his chart, and we pretty much expected to hear from Child Protective Services, which they did try to report her, and CPS declined the case, and they said, Landon is doing amazing. Sierra sends us all of his test results, and he's happy, he's healthy, he's thriving. We are not interested in supporting this case. So basically the doctors, the only recourse they would have at that point is to actually take us to court individually, which they would probably lose at this point. We were just keeping our mouth shut, biding our time, but the one chemo that he was still getting was the once a month inline chemo when he goes in for all of his blood work and testing, which was the vincristine, which is the one that did all of the damage to his legs. So for 3 or 4 days.
Sorry, Wendy's mate.
Yeah.
Is that the video when Sierra just recently put up a video which was absolutely shocking and broke my heart?
Yes,
that was the one.
Just heaving. Yeah. Yes, it's heaving and puking for 3 to 4 days. All of the weight that Sierra gets him to gain during the month, he basically drops a good 5 pounds during that time. His legs are, of course, very painful. And so we, of course, yesterday was time for the once a month to go in for the vincristine and everything else. So we went in yesterday and we visited with the doctor. And we said, you told us in the beginning that vincristine is what is called a carrier chemo, and it works in conjunction with the daily chemos. Well, now that you know that he has not been receiving any daily chemo for, 13 months now, if the vincristine is only a carrier, then he doesn't have the daily chemo. We're stopping the vincristine. And the doctor just kind of looked at us and made some notes on his chart and said, okay, are you still going to be bringing him in for all of his testing? And we said, absolutely. We'll be here every 30 days to have his port flushed, all of his blood and chemistry drawn. We'll still be doing his bone marrow draws, his spinal fluid testing to make sure he's still in remission. We'll still follow all of the testing protocol to make sure that he's healthy and thriving and doing really, really well. But in terms of chemo, drugs, steroids, we're done. We're not doing any more. And I think basically they're just astounded, number one, that we got away with it. And I think the second thing is right now Landon is sitting with 19 months of remission, and 13 months of that remission has been cannabis treatment only. It is staring them right in the face. They can no longer deny that this is a viable treatment for leukemia. So yesterday was a win for us. Yesterday was a win for all pediatric patients that really want to look at cannabis as a good therapy.
Yeah. You've well done. Well bloody done. Because
I wish you guys could have seen.
Yeah. Because all
I wish you guys could.
Yeah, go for it, Wendy.
I wish you guys could have seen Landon running down the hall of the hospital as we're leaving with his fist in the air, screaming at the top of his lungs, no more chemo, no more chemo. Because, as you know, I've been following your story, the Riddle story, and I feel like I'm part of the family. And the difference that just watching the video, that last set of videos when he was watching torture, and how people couldn't see the sense of that was beyond me. And now we've reached this point through you both and Landon's strength and all the people around you that have helped you through this incredible period of time, which I know, I can't imagine what it must have been like to have actually been there and gone through it with you. And at last, they've seen sense. And you have. Absolutely.
You've broken the dam.
Absolutely.
What you have done, you have made history. Because there is no address to recourse now that any chemo doctors out there who want to poison these children with this very invasive treatment, they've only got to look at the Landon case, and he set a precedent.
Exactly. Well, they will tell you that, your oncologist will say, I'm a cancer specialist, or I'm a chemo specialist, a leukemia specialist, whatever area of, specialty that they are in the oncology field. Yeah. But really and truly, what they're really a specialist in is chemo, radiation, narcotic drugs, and steroid therapy, in how it relates to the illness. If they were really and truly a cancer specialist, a chemo, a leukemia expert, they would study anything and everything that could possibly impact that disease. But they don't. All they study is chemo, radiation, and drugs. That's it. So they're really not a cancer specialist or a leukemia specialist. They're just a specialist in drugs and how it affects that disease.
In one particular field of medicine. Because you've come to this point because you had no option. As Mary Lynn points out, we were patients out of time. We'd had everything else, it hadn't worked, and through our own research and our own diligence of trawling these internet sites, thank God for the internet, we've come across relevant information that we've used, and I'm sitting here today talking to you because of this medicine. Your grandson is going to grow up to be a healthy, intelligent, beautiful young man because cannabis cures.
Amen. That is exactly correct.
And they can't fucking see it. And they expect us to believe what they're doing to us is the right course of action? I don't think so.
No, it's not the right course of action. It's the course of action that makes them the most money. I mean, let's be real. No, the pharmaceutical companies and the doctors do not want a cure for cancer. If we had a cure for cancer tomorrow, the pharmaceutical companies would lose trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, every cancer doctor in the world would be out of a job. Every cancer clinic would close. Every cancer hospital would close. At the end of the day, it would, trillions and trillions of dollars a year would be lost if they recognized that there were things that could actually cure cancer. So you can't tell me that a doctor that makes all of their money every year off treating cancer actually wants a cure, because then they're basically saying, I would like to be unemployed.
Well, then, no, what they're saying is I'm a murderer, because they know this fact. They're saying I'm going to commit murder for money.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they were going to murder me, and they were going to murder your grandson. That's murder.
Exactly. You know, statistics show that around anywhere between 70 to, I think it's like 78% of all doctors choose not to treat their own family members or themselves with chemotherapy if they're diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah. Of course.
They go holistic, natural. They try everything else they can try first to treat the cancer before they fall back onto the chemotherapy. Chemotherapy being the most toxic thing you can put in your body, should be the last resort, not the first resort.
Very, 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 very last resort. In fact, when they haven't gone through it, and maybe when Landon gets a bit older, he'll say the same. I'd rather die than go through that again. I'd rather die naturally.
So at the end of the day, you know, once you have tried, you change your diet, you go all organic, you do cannabis therapies and work with a herbologist and do all of those things. You should exhaust every natural option that God has given us before you resort to, you know, chemotherapy. But right now, because we're chemotherapy, radiation, and drugs, where that's all the money is, that is the first thing that they go to, not the last thing.
Well, anybody that takes chemo from this day on is stupid.
Well, I mean, let's go back and look at history. Where was chemotherapy and radiation designed? It was developed in the Nazi war camps.
Yeah.
It was developed as a toxic poison.
Yeah.
That they just found a way to use and make some bucks off of.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, everybody really needs to start looking at the options. Anybody that's listening to this radio show, they may not have cancer right now. But right now, the statistics are 1 in 3 people in the world are going to contract cancer. So that means either you're going to get it or somebody in your family or a close friend or whatever it may be. Start educating yourself now. Start changing your diet now. Start using raw cannabis and juicing it every day to feed your body. Get on board of starting to change your lifestyle now and educate yourself now, because once you already have cancer, you are way behind the curve.
Yeah. And as well, if you look at the United Nations figures for the treatment of chemo and its cure rate, I believe in 2009 to 2010, chemo cured 2.3% of the people.
Correct.
That's how much chance you've got of getting a cure from chemo. 2.3.
That is correct.
You go to Lourdes in France, which is the holy shrine of the Mother Mary, bless her be, and you stand a 5.7% chance of getting cured from any illness that you have. You've got more chance of drinking holy water than you have of getting cured from chemo. So
exactly. That is exactly
or you can
correct.
take this method, what you've just said about cleaning your diet up, stop eating toxic food, get the bigger picture, start drinking your filtered water, start taking your cannabinoids, start doing some exercise, start talking to your neighbours again, start acting like human beings, and cancer will automatically, you're going to lose 90%. It's going to be back to the days of 1960 when cancer was just beginning to raise its head. Not this one.
Exactly. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we all have to die of something, you know.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you're never going to cure 100% of any disease,
Nope.
you know, and that is totally, I mean, we all understand that we're born, we live, and we die,
Yep.
you know. But, I mean, people need to, you know, really begin to understand their bodies and how to feed it and take care of it. And parents that drive through McDonald's and feed their kids chicken nuggets and soda pop, shame on you. I mean, that really and truly ought to be listed as child abuse. Anybody that allows that garbage to go in their kid's mouth, that ought to be listed as child abuse.
It should be banned. It's toxic waste. It needs to be taken down
Exactly.
with skull and crossbones written on it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, if I took all of the chemicals that are in a McDonald's chicken nugget and put them in little tiny piles on a plate and tried to feed it to them, they wouldn't eat it. But because it comes in this crispy, deep-fried warmness goodness, they just think, oh, it's heaven, and I could feed my kids for 99 cents.
Oh, Wendy, you're making me feel ill. Don't talk
You know,
about the
I mean, if I really broke down most of the food that people eat into little piles on a plate, I mean, really and truly, stop and think about it. You wouldn't eat that.
No.
If I served you a chicken salad sandwich.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
We had a British chef come over to visit you. His name was Jamie Oliver, and he showed the American public what was in some of your food, and he actually just won a big
Exactly.
He won a big court case against McDonald's because they were selling you pink slime.
Exactly. I'm telling you what, if you came to my house and I served you a homemade chicken salad sandwich, and I said, but, by the way, I put a little tiny bit of dog poop in it.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny bit, just a trace. Yeah. Would you eat it?
No, of course not.
Of course not. But they say, well, we only put a little tiny bit of these chemicals in our food.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing. Here, let me serve you a sandwich that's just got trace amounts of dog poop. Because I can tell you right now, dog poop is more organic than the ingredients that they put in a chicken nugget. And people are feeding them to their kids by the millions.
You know it. By the ton. By the tonnage of the stuff. So anyway, listen, we're gonna take the first break, then we're gonna come back, and now I want to know the good news story because the vibration in your house today must be fantastic. I saw the picture last night of Landon with his big bald round his neck going day free of chemo, and that little boy's smile was absolutely stunning. Yeah, he was like beaming.
He is one beaming. Happy little dude.
Yeah, I bet he is, and I bet you're one really happy grandma, huh?
I am.
I am. Yeah. So listen, if Casper's there, we're going to take that break, then we come back and we do round two. Nice to speak to you again, Wendy.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THC THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
He recommends it to MS sufferers who are in desperate need. It's medicinal, it's pure, and it helps to ease the pain. And if you're feeling down, my friend, it'll pick you up again. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Fantastic. We're back. Time for hemp. And I have a member of the Riddle family on, Wendy. Welcome back again. Your name is so apt.
Thank you.
The Riddle family, because I think I've been part of your family now for about 10 weeks or more, and I've certainly had a complete riddle of emotions. It's been a roller coaster. I've cried, I've laughed, I've punched the air with anger, I've wanted to kill doctors. Your life in the last 10 weeks has just been such an amazing journey for you, and to come out of it the other end now and to show these people that you stood by your guns as such. Yeah, that is proven to be right. You know, it must feel fantastic. For the how long has he been ill? It's nearly 4 years, isn't it? Is it? Am I correct in that? 4 years.
Yes, he would, be scheduled to be in traditional treatment right at 4 years would have been the protocol. So we are going to, of course, follow that same protocol with the cannabis therapy for the same amount of time that he would have been into treatment. In terms of course, Landon uses both types of oil. He uses the CBD oil as well as the THC oil. Yeah. So he will stay in that therapy, for the prescribed amount of treatment until he has to be cancer-free for 5 years before they actually consider him cured. Yeah. Okay? But we all know that once you've had cancer, there are chances of reoccurrence because the chemo and the drugs and everything, of course, are carcinogens, and they can cause cancer in his body later on. So what we are going to do is after the actual treatment protocol is up and he is rated as cured, at that point we are going to keep him on the CBD oil for the rest of his life.
Yeah. I think by that time the science will automatically say it would have shown conclusively that we all need these CBD, THC oils in our system anyway, because I hope by that time the science would have proven that conclusively. But it must be wonderful to have your grandson back in your life.
Oh, I mean, it's just, I just spent yesterday part of the day laughing, part of the day crying. I mean, it was just, you anticipate it, for so long. The relief that you don't have to watch him be sick anymore, that you don't have to watch him torture him anymore, that you don't have to watch him puking his guts up for days. Oh. That you don't have to, have all of his teeth redone again because the chemo damaged them so bad in the vomiting. Every single tooth in Landon's head has been capped because of the damage from the chemo and the vomiting damage was so severe. Now he can gain weight and sustain that weight because he's not going to drop 5 pounds at the end of every month because he has to have treatment.
I must say, from the photographs, Wendy, he's looking really well at the moment. The latest photographs.
I'm sorry, he's looking really what? I didn't get that.
He's looking really well, really, really well.
Oh, yeah, he's doing really well.
He's looking at it from the photographs. He's looking like he's just beaming and just looks full and it looks good. Great.
Yep, he's doing amazingly well. Yeah. And I think that's why that they're not going to push this issue to court, for the simple fact that I don't think a court in the land would order him to go back on that toxic garbage.
The judge would have to be... No, there couldn't be possibly a judge out there that could judge that. Surely not.
No.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So, at the end of the day, yesterday was a victory across the board. That's one of the reasons why we do, the radio shows and Facebook and things like that, is to get the word out, to let other parents know you have options. You don't have to just, when the doctor says, okay, we're starting chemo, radiation, drug therapy, you don't have to just shake your head because you're so terrified that your kid's going to die that you do whatever the doctors tell you. There are options out there for you to look at for safe, compassionate care for your child. So we're trying to spread the word as much as we can. This isn't just about Landon. This is about every child that has cancer. For parents to wake up and start thinking for themselves and making better, intelligent, compassionate choices for their kid.
It's just occurred to me, Wendy, that now, of course, Landon is cancer-free and he's going to grow up to be healthy and wealthy and wise and handsome. Yeah. You got your grandson back and Sierra's got her son back and the family you can almost go back to normal. But I've just realised, talking to you, you're still on a mission, aren't you?
Yes. And you know what? We're going to stay on that mission. You know, we've basically got two goals right now. The number one goal is to spread the word, you know, continue advocacy, help other families get connected to good sources of cannabis medicine, help other families with the knowledge that we've gained on this journey. We've got somebody looking at us right now to possibly do a movie of this journey that we've been on. You know, so right now it's education, 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 you know, and really spreading the word of this is a viable option for leukemia. With Landon being the first child ever to use this primarily as treatment for leukemia and to overcome the disease is, you know, pretty astounding. So we really want to encourage and work with other families and help as many people as we can and spread the word with knowledge and education. And then, of course, the second thing is to get out of all the debt that cancer brought to us. So those are basically our two main goals right now. We want to educate other parents, and we want to get out of debt.
They are both very noble causes. I wish you, and if I can help you in any way to succeed in those, I will. Yeah. But that is pretty marvelous that you're going to carry on, because, as I say, you really now you can sort of almost go back to the normal family life, couldn't you? But you're the family's all on a mission, isn't it? To keep going.
Well, I'm telling you what, you know, as well as Landon is doing, you know, we are still nowhere back to being normal. Yeah. He has to work with an occupational therapist. He has to work with a physical therapist. He has to work with a speech therapist. Yeah. I mean, you know, Landon, the 9 months that he was super, super, super sick, you know, he went for 6 weeks without eating because of the chemo and things of that nature. It's not just their body that goes through, you know, a lot of damage during the treatment. It's also their learning. It's their psychological. Landon has post-traumatic stress disorder now. You know, there are so many emotional things, and he's behind now for a child his age in, you know, a lot of areas that he's, you know, having to continue therapy in. So, I mean, we still have a ways to go before we're anywhere near really, you know, what would be considered normal. You know, so he's got some developmental delays now that we're having to work through. I mean, the chemo really does a number on them. I mean, really and truly. You know, everybody looks at pictures of cancer kids and they're like, oh my God, you know, I just can't believe that cancer has done this to that poor child. Well, I've got a news flash for you. Cancer is not what did what you see in those pictures. Their treatment is what did to the kids that you see. The sickness, how skinny they are and pale and their eyes sunk in their head and they're bald. All of those things that you're seeing, that is not a product of cancer. That is a product of chemo.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree.
You know, so it's going to be a couple of years before Landon really gets caught up to where we would consider him, you know, to fall within the normal range.
It's going to be work in progress because it's going to be work in progress. But at least now you're on the right road. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we are so thankful and so grateful to be where we're at today.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just a new road now, isn't it? Without the problems that chemo and all that psychotropic drugs and stuff that they gave him, that's out of the way now. So you can get on with the real healing, as you say, through food and through cannabinoid medicines and general healing. And he looks such a little bright lad that I'm sure he's going to pick up. Yeah, he's going to accelerate. Whoosh.
Yep.
Before you know it, he'll be 16, 17 years old, bringing his girlfriend home, Grandma.
That's exactly right. I can't wait for that day.
Yeah. How's he fit? I mean, he must be, he knows what's going on, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He must be really happy.
I mean, you know, he's told the doctors before, I don't want chemo. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
I don't want chemo. It makes my legs hurt. I don't want chemo. It makes me puke. I mean, he knows. I mean, these kids are not stupid. They recognize that I go in, you put this toxic crap in my body, and I'm sick for a week. I mean, they're not stupid. They know what's going on.
So the doctors, when you met up with the doctors earlier, well, I mean, what was their reaction? Were they?
Well, this is what they say. Well, we're trying to save your life, Landon.
Yeah.
You know, they're more concerned with killing the cancer than they are with the quality of life that the patient has. They really don't care if you have quality of life while you're in treatment. All they are concerned about is we're going to kill the cancer. And, oh my God, if it accidentally kills you in the process, well, that's just too bad.
That's just it's almost Frankenstein.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, and here's the sick part of all of it. They're really honest with you about it.
Yeah.
We're going to do whatever it takes to kill his cancer.
Yeah.
And Sierra's like, you know, talking to the doctor and saying, but what about his quality of life? Well, if we don't save his life, you know, he won't be alive long enough to have any quality of life. I mean, they can come up with every excuse they want.
Well, they're very well trained in it, aren't they?
Exactly. What it boils down to is any doctor that does not look at every type of available option to treat somebody with cancer, to me, is not a doctor at all. And they go totally against the Hippocratic Oath that they take to be a doctor.
Yeah. There was another landmark as well yesterday. Did you ever come across that Gerson therapy? They chased him out to Mexico. Apparently, his therapy has been allowed back into the USA now, the Gerson therapy. And it was another one of those that has had great success for various types of cancers, and it's not chemo-based. So things are changing, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I'm very familiar with the Gerson diet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
so that was,
you know,
another good one that, so two for the, they lost 2 goals yesterday, I think, the chemo people were.
Yep, exactly.
The time is up.
Exactly.
The time is up. People are pointing fingers. The truth is out there. And your medicine don't work. And the sooner you give it up and the sooner they allow these medicines that do work, the sooner we can all sleep a bit easier, can't we? Huh?
Exactly.
This threat of bloody cancer over our kids and over our family and mothers, and it's disgusting. It's an epidemic, isn't it? 1 in 3, an epidemic.
Yes, cancer is an epidemic, but nobody wants to admit it and nobody wants to talk about it because it's like the $1 trillion a year secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Foul. Absolutely foul. So again, the other parents that were in that hospital, that their children, they must have seen Landon picking up. They couldn't totally ignore.
You know, I'm sure that they do. But you know what? At the end of the day, of course, they don't know, you know, when you're in there in the chemo clinics and stuff, nobody, you know, I mean, everybody is so consumed with their own kid and the issues, you know, that they don't do a whole lot of talking, you know. So at the end of the day, you know, what it boils down to is nobody knows who's in what stage or whatever, you know. And I mean, here's the sick part about it. All the parents that are in there probably just think, well, he's in the later stages of treatment, and that's why he's doing so well and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, every doctor, every nurse, every therapist, and every technician knows exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
And knows that Landon being in this stage of treatment and using the cannabis and all of these other kids being in this exact same stage of treatment and doing 90% worse than what Landon's doing, how can they not tell those families? How can they not say, that little boy that you see over there is in the exact same stage of treatment as your son? And he's doing some alternative therapies that you definitely can tell are working. You might want to talk to those families. You might want to go over there and talk to that mom.
I don't want to get sort of all biblical on you, but it's sort of like they can't keep washing their hands of the blood that's on them.
I know. You know, I mean,
Oh.
at the end of the day, you know, how can you not say something to these families? How can you not tell them, look, we're treating this young man, and he's using cannabis. He's having phenomenal results. You know, I would encourage you to look into it.
Exactly.
Something.
Wendy, we're going to hit the next break. Leave it there.
Okay.
Pay the bills, please, Casper.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor. So come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Yes, and we were talking about people, doctors lying and not telling the truth. Do you know what, Wendy? We had the same thing in England a few days ago. We have a thing called the British Medical Association, and they've been going since forever, since about 1500 and something, and are very well respected. And 14 years ago, they wrote a report to the English government saying that there should be a change in the law because they wanted to study and start using cannabinoid-based medicines. Yeah. 4 days ago, the BMA, the British Medical Association, said that they didn't really think that cannabis was a medical issue. Yeah, and washed their hands of it. Yeah, in the 14 years that I've been studying this movement, the only things that I've ever read are positive things about this medicine. So where the British Medical Association has got this idea that 14 years ago they thought it was good and now they think it's bad, with no evidence to back that up, it's just outright lying. I'm sorry, this is
I totally agree.
Think of. Yeah?
Yes, I totally agree.
Good. So why are they lying now that it's not good? There's been no evidence out there. In fact, all we ever hear at the moment in this movement is stories like Landon, stories like myself. Every day there is more and more people curing themselves or healing themselves with this plant. It's very... And people like you and me, Wendy, like you said, we're just like normal people, Roddy. Yeah, trucking along, doing our thing, and then all of a sudden something come along, and we've had to go. Whoa, wait a minute! I better find out about this because my life's at stake.
Right.
And we educate ourselves, and it's not even hard anymore, is it, Wendy?
Exactly.
You hit that Google button.
Well, people are going to have to begin to wake up and begin to understand that the doctor and the government is not in charge of your health care, not your health care or your children's health care. You are in charge of your health care and your children's health care. You need to start informing yourself, gaining knowledge and wisdom to make wise choices for your children's health and for your health. And until people take that responsibility back, that accountability back, we are going to continue to have the exact same issues that we have right now in terms of everybody wants to be a sheeple and everybody just wants to follow along and do what the doctors and the government tell them. Well, that is also shirking and shifting accountability and responsibility. And until that stops, we're going to continue to have the same issues we have right now.
And those issues are no good, are they? Those issues are killing you.
Pardon me, I didn't catch that last part.
The issues, if they don't wake up and face the issues, those issues are killing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Because doctors and the government are going to continue to make money off of you as long as you allow it. We, the people, have to stand up, unite together, educate ourselves, work together to make changes in our government so that we have better healthcare choices that are natural and not so damn toxic.
Yeah. In a word, of course. It's so logical, isn't it? That statement is just so, to me, that's just so logical. Why would we not do anything else? Why wouldn't we do that? It's not an alternative. That's what we should be doing. That's how we should be living. Right. This other stuff is an alternative.
Stop and think about it. Modern medicine is convenient. I go down to the doctor. He writes me this little thing on this white piece of paper. I go down to the pharmacist. I hand it in, and they give me this cute little bottle of pills that's going to take care of all my problems. I'm 100 pounds overweight, and I have high blood pressure. The doctor should look at the person and say, your prescription is to join the gym.
Yeah.
Start walking. Start watching what you eat. Get 100 pounds off, and you will no longer have high blood pressure. But instead of doing that, they write them a prescription for a pharmaceutical drug that is going to supposedly mask the symptoms and take care of the high blood pressure.
Yeah. And then they give you another drug to counteract that one. And then they got another drug to counteract that one. And then before you know it,
cancer, cancer is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, cannabis is not an easy choice They make it extremely difficult for you to use it. You know, it's still illegal in many parts of the world. It's a tough choice to use an organic, natural medicine that you can grow in your backyard.
Yeah. Simple as that, isn't it?
Exactly. But you have to take accountability, and you have to make the changes in your diet. And it takes time to find, you know, either a good grower or learn to grow it yourself. It costs money. You know, your insurance is not going to pay for your medicine. Landon's oil is almost $1,000 a month.
It's $1,000 a month because they make it illegal. And when
Bingo.
we can grow it, where we want to grow it in nature, it don't cost nothing because it grows everywhere.
That is exactly correct.
But if you want to go and pay some money for it, then I'm sure there's somebody that'll sell you some, and it most probably might be better quality than what you find out in the woods or the jungle or wherever. But,
right. I mean, you know, we're dealing at that time with a 2-year-old, and now, of course, he's 4. You know, so, I mean, we're not just going to grow it in the backyard and throw it together. You know, the source where his oil comes from is a medical grow that does a phenomenal job. It's tested for its purity, for any contaminants. I mean, it is a medicine. And people, you'd be surprised at how many people that we talk to that their kid has cancer, and as soon as they find out that their insurance won't cover the oil, they'll say things like, oh, well, we'll just continue with the chemo because the insurance covers it.
Yeah, the insurance covers that. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
I had a man...
It's like, really?
And
they say, well, we can't afford that. And it's like, you know what? It's called fundraising. You do bake sales. You do car washes. You sell T-shirts. You know, you do whatever it takes to get your child the good holistic medicine that they need. But it's so much easier to just do chemo, and the insurance company takes care of it, and it doesn't really matter if we're giving our kids toxic poison. You know, it's the norm. It's the acceptable treatment. Even if it's only 3% effective, oh, well, we'll live with that.
Well, you know what's going to happen when you don't, they'll die.
Exactly.
Because you can take an horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yeah, and if those people...
That's exactly correct.
...to wake up, and if they want to eat their Mackie D's and take their injections and their blue pills and red pills, then that's their choice, because you don't have to be like that.
Exactly. It all comes down to all of us understanding it is about choice.
Yeah.
And if you want good, holistic treatments to become legal, like cannabis, then you've got to get off the couch, become an advocate, and start making a difference in everybody's life. We all have to work together to make this work.
Yeah. Because the drugs war don't work. The war on this plant has been totally and utterly ridiculous. And do you know why they spend so much money on it? Because it's so bloody useful. They don't want it out there, because then we all have our own medicine, for a start. And when we grow it properly, we have our own building material and our own cloth and our own fuels and our own everything. And we become self-reliant again, and then we don't have to depend on central governments. Central governments are just there to run buses and fucking shit like that. Not to take big military bloody war contracts, or to take everybody to war, which doesn't serve anybody. That's why they don't want back. That's why they don't want cannabis back into the ecosystem, because it takes away the big power structure.
That's exactly correct.
That grows everywhere. It's part of our ecosystem, like the trees, like the bees, like the birds, like the grass. It's a plant.
Exactly.
And
you know, here in the United States, what is really insane is hemp can be imported legally, but it cannot be grown here legally. Tell me how retarded that is. Who comes up with this crap?
People that want to make money out of other stuff, that's who. Because it don't make any sense otherwise. But there is a couple of states now in America that have started to grow again. But again, it should be everywhere. I mean, even one of your famous presidents to quote was in Washington. Hemp, grow it everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
there was a reason why that guy said that. He didn't just sit down one day and go, "Oh, I'll come out of that like hemp, throw it everywhere, hemp, grow it everywhere." There was a reason, because he knew it was good stuff. And the sooner we reinstate this plant, and the sooner we get behind letting everybody know that this medicine works, it works on little Landons, and it works on old fellas like me, and it works on this, that, and the third thing. Get away from this toxic shit. Get away from it. It's just rubbish. It's killing you. Learn the facts, and let's get on with the job, because there's children out there today. Landon's escaped. His grandmother and his mother have fought so hard, he's escaped them chemo killers. But there's kids out there tonight that are suffering, and they don't need to. So
well, guess what?
Yeah, spread the news. Go for it.
I have Landon here with me, and he wants to say hello.
Landon!
Hi.
Oh, Landon, I love you so much.
Me too.
Wicked, man. You're so cool. Yeah.
No.
No more chemo for my mate Landon. Yeah! Everybody shout for Landon. Yeah! You're my hero.
Hold on. He wants to say something.
Come back, Landon.
Hey, can I tell my cancer?
Yeah, it did, mate. You're mine as well. That's two of us. But I think there'll be a few more soon as well, eh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Tell him bye-bye. Come here. Tell him bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Go and play, man. Go and enjoy your life. Oh, how brilliant is that? I don't know where I'm crying with joy, laughter, sadness, or whatever. All three at once.
Yep. Well, at least we got him to talk for a few minutes before he ran off.
Yeah, good. He's going to be like Forrest Gump now. Now he starts running. He ain't going to stop.
That's exactly right.
You know it. Wendy, listen, it's that time of night. We're going to close it down. Thanks for stepping in. The Riddle family, I love you all. What can I say? Yeah.
Oh, we love you guys too. Thank you so much.
Give each other a big hug from me. And hey, I'll speak to you soon. You know, like, it don't stop here, does it? That's just...
Absolutely. We'd love to be on any time. Thank you so much.
God bless you all. Take care.
God bless you too.